Hey guys, hope everybody's having a great day. I am. Today's a beautiful day. Hear that water running in the background, makes it nice. I'm sitting here in my backyard. Got a lovely blossom tree. I'm not kind of sure what that is. I'm not a planter, grower person. My wife digs that stuff more than I do. But anyway, just wanted to touch base with you guys and talk to you about outreach to Muslims. I have to be careful on social media because Facebook and Instagram have both threatened to pull my post down because of talking about sharing the gospel with Muslims and also over a post I made about getting revenge by leading people to Christ in Sri Lanka for the Easter massacres last year in Sri Lanka. So anyway, with how I probably label this, I'll have to be a little bit careful about. They don't like you talking about evangelism on there. Not surprised. But anyway, one of the things that I wanted to point out was that, first of all, you're never going to argue a Muslim into coming into faith with Jesus. It's been well ingrained, and as you guys know, we filmed Wanderlust, and Will Go Productions filmed me on the streets in Afghanistan and Kabul. I've done this in Iran, done it in Armenia, done it in Iraq, done it in Albania, I'm losing track, Israel, multiple places throughout the Middle East that I've been, many Muslim countries, sharing the gospel with Muslims and to bring them to faith. And one of the key things, obviously, is they need a power encounter. So many times we're trying to argue with them, and that's not the thing that's going to bring them around, because they've been ingrained. It's been ingrained in their minds and in their training that Allah is, is God, and of course Islam. Allah, before Islam was established, just to give you a little indication, Allah was really known as a demon, and the moon demon, and was actually feared as someone that could do harm and do damage and things like that. And that's probably why there's a lot of fear involved in Islam. And so when Muhammad said, well, actually Allah's not a demon, he's actually God. A lot of people don't know that history. A lot of Muslims don't know that history, but that's historic. That's the story that is behind it. When we reach out to Muslims, we do use the term, if you're speaking in English, I would encourage you to use the term God and not use the term Allah. If you're speaking to Muslims, though, if you're talking to Iranian believers, they don't say Allah. There's more of a generic term for God. And the reason why is they try to distinguish, and they don't even say the term when greeting each other, salam alaikum, which is peace be with you. And then the proper response is malakam salah, which is basically saying, and also peace be with you too. Sort of like how we do in Christianity and more Orthodox settings. And so it's sort of releasing peace. And many Iranians say, well, don't use that term because it's actually a term that is because it's used by Muslims, but it's not a term strictly of Muslims. It's a term that is Arabic of the area, and so I wouldn't steer away from using that. And if you saw Finger of God 2, you saw me say to the soldiers who had released us, salam alaikum, and they didn't respond. Their response was to not shoot us. So that was good. But anyway, I just share this with you just to give some understanding, because so many Christians don't understand a lot about Muslims. One of the things that's really powerful is to just say to a Muslim, listen, I just want to pray for you. Can I just pray? Now, you may get some pushback, and I had this happen to me a lot, especially in in Western Europe, mainly England, with Muslims, is a lot of Muslims responded with, well, no, to pray, you got to wash your hands, you got to wash your feet, you got to cleanse yourself before you pray, so you can't pray for me. They don't understand the process of laying on of hands or anything like that. And so just say, yeah, well, this is a different type of prayer. This is a prayer blessing. This is like when you say salam alaikum, it's like releasing peace. That's what I'm going to do right now. The objective is just to get them to say yes. Okay, I'll just be honest with you and just get them to agree to it. People are like, my son Caspian was praying for a Muslim friend of his. One of his best friends is a young Muslim guy at school here, yes, in Texas. Here in South Lake, Texas, there's a big Muslim population that's here, and the boy says, no, that's offensive. You're being offensive by saying, can I pray for you? And I shared with Caspian, I said, explain to him that it's a different type of prayer, that it's a prayer more of releasing peace, and that it's okay. It's a blessing prayer. It's not a formal type prayer, and that it's not offensive, that it's actually going to benefit his life and going to be very good for him. And in that sense, I know this sounds a little crazy, but in that sense, I would sort of fly under the radar, be a little stealthy, harmless as serpents, wise as dove, wise as serpents, harmless as doves, and use that sort of approach in doing this, because you want to be able to get them to open up and to receive from you. And so I would encourage you at that point in time to just say, no, this is just a peaceful thing. It's like me just saying, God bless you, but it's in a formal way. And then as you begin to pray, now they may not let you lay hands on them. If you're a male, it's best not to touch a female unless they say it's okay. You could say, may I put my hand on my shoulder, or is that offensive in any way? And let them tell you if it is or isn't, based on whether they're Sunni or Sufi, or it's kind of how they will respond. You'll find that you'll find that there's a real warmth with many of the Muslims to us being kind and loving and caring, and they're instructed by the Quran, to be hospitable, to be. So one of the reasons why that the Muslim world is one of the most hospitable places on earth is because they're instructed by the Quran that they've got to do that in order to be able to get into paradise. Now, with bombings and killings and things like that, well, I mean, that's a different form. This is where the religious thing gets very, kind of convoluted, and it gets a little messed up. Is that they see it as both being God in that. Since Christ came, we hear Jesus basically saying, hey, he who lives by the sword perishes by the sword. But then, in the Old Testament, you see God saying, hey, this is time to go to war. So we know that God is not anti-war, but we also know that it's for the purpose and the objective of peace. That's my dog over there. His name is Bear. He's enjoying the fact that I'm out here and he can run around. So if you hear that noise, just so you know, it's not a neighbor manifesting a demon or anything. It's my dog. But anyway, and then as you begin to pray, don't hesitate to say the name of Jesus. Say the name of Jesus. Be bold in that, and speak life, and say, and my encouragement to you is then say, by the authority of Christ, I just declare and command for you to feel the manifest presence of Jesus. But in that, to also say, so that you will know him as God, that you will know Jesus Christ as God, and pray and begin to bless and say, I release the heat, the electricity of God's presence. If you're praying for healing, command their body to be healed, have them check it. When they're healed, make sure and say, now this is the power of Jesus Christ. This is Jesus Christ making himself known to you. This is Jesus, wanting a relationship with you. And he's inviting you into a relationship with him, and for you to make him Lord and to follow him. And as they're healed, give them a moment to kind of process. Sometimes they'll say, well, you worship one Jesus, we worship. Say, well, this is the Jesus that you just felt. The one I'm praying to is the one you felt. I'm praying the one that you actually experienced, the one that just healed you. and he wants a relationship with you. So who do you want to follow? The one that you don't feel anything with, or the one that you do feel anything with? The truth is it's the same Jesus. They don't understand that. They see, oh, you worship him as God, I worship him as a prophet. But biblically, it's the same Jesus, and from the Quran, it's the same Jesus. It's just they have a different story that's not accurate and goes off. That's enough for now. I'll do some more of these later, but just wanted to share with you guys and to encourage you guys. Go for it. Reach out. This works with anybody, to be honest with you. It works with a Satanist. Go out and you want to kind of find middle ground. We used to say in missions, some missions training I was in, yeah, remember the objective is to give them the plant, not the pot. Give them the plant, not the holder. We want to make sure that we're giving them not the container, but the gift of God that is within them. God bless you guys. Go for it. Jesus first, safety last.